The Honourable Minister of Budget and National Abuja, Honourable Minister, Agriculture and Food Security, Patricia Uyemechi Obila, Your Excellency Rebuke Adekunle, the whole of Africa and beyond. In spite of this large natural resources base and abundance of human resources for agriculture and its support service, food security and the insecurity also posing a major challenge to the agricultural value chain. Now, how can we get past this? Align strategies and strengthening partnerships between governments, development partners, private sector actors, and local communities not left behind. Indeed, nobody is left behind. As a wife, I think it is when you see food on the table that it excites you, that everybody can eat and eat appropriately. So that we're here together to make history, can you please give yourself a round of applause? Headed by the doctor today, you will be able to sleep because we have made some headway. He's going to welcome us with his remarks. The FAO welcome him very, very warmly to welcome us to this event today. He has spoken to evidence-based, tangible improvements that this will bring.
And the members of the press, all protocols respected. On behalf of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, it is my honor and privilege to welcome you all to this pivotal National Hand-in-Hand Investment Forum. Today, we gather not just to discuss, but to catalyze action. Not just to plan, but to partner. And not just to invest, but to transform. The Hand-in-Hand Initiative is an FAO evidence-based, country-led and country-owned flagship program designed to accelerate agricultural transformation and sustainable rural development. It is squarely aimed at eradicating poverty and ending hunger in all its forms and malnutrition and reducing inequalities. It is our vehicle for achieving the SDGs and is fully aligned with both the FAO strategic framework approved by our member states, including Nigeria, and Africa's own vision as outlined in the new Kampala Declaration. Your Excellencies, let me mention that in Nigeria, the Hand-in-Hand Initiative has made remarkable strides in identifying and matching investment opportunities in agriculture with interests of private sector. Bilateral and multilateral developments and international financial institutions. Through collaborative efforts, we have supported the development of bankable investment cases across priority agricultural value chains, unlocking new pathways for food security, nutrition, job creation, and economic growth. We have worked closely with federal and state authorities to identify high-impact opportunities across critical agricultural value chains using our advanced spatial platform and data lab. We have moved from anecdote to evidence, pinpointing where investments can yield the greatest return in terms of food security, job creation, and economic growth. Let me appreciate the collaboration and support received from the respective government ministry. Distinguished guests and partners, the success of this initiative is measured by the partnership it has forged. We have made significant strides in matching private sector players, bilateral and multilateral development partners with Nigeria's clear agricultural development priorities. These are not just commitments on paper. They are tangible investments beginning to drive transformative and sustainable growth within our agri-food systems. Furthermore, a key member of the Hand-in-Hand initiative for the Sahel initiative at subregional level, Nigeria is championing critical front-runner of growth, micro and macro investments in water and irrigation. This is a game changer, unlocking the immense potential of our agriculture and fisheries sectors, building resilience against climate shocks, and ensuring water is not just a barrier, but a catalyst for abundance. None of the progress achieved so far would be possible without the unwavering commitment and leadership at the highest level of the Nigerian government. I would like to take this opportunity to commend the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, my brother, Senator Kiari, and his dedicated team for their visionary leadership and tireless efforts in driving the Hand-in-Hand initiative at the country level. Their commitment to making a sustainable
Nigeria's economy and a vital source of food, jobs and livelihoods. Yet, the sector continues to face significant pressures: climate change, irregular rainfall, and increasing demand for land and water. Irrigation, in particular, is not only a technical solution, but also a strategic investment in resilience, productivity, and rural prosperity. At the European Union, we see ourselves as long-term partners in Nigeria's agricultural journey. And our goal is clear. Aligning with the federal government strategy, it is to foster inclusive, climate-smart, and commercially viable agriculture that creates decent jobs, especially for youth and women, while building the next generation of agri-pioneers. To this end, the EU is investing over 87 million euros through the Value Chain Development and Climate Smart Agriculture Programme. And this is part of our broader Team Europe initiative, which supports Nigeria's green economy and is backed by a growing pipeline of projects worth nearly 1.5 billion euros. Just last week, we launched, together with our partners, with Germany and with the Federal Government of Nigeria, the 18.3 million euros EU-based TIRED project implemented by the GIZ. And this initiative is helping to address the challenges faced by farmers and agribusiness while unlocking opportunities in key value chains such as cocoa, tomatoes, ginger, dairy, and feed for dairy like maize, soya beans, and sorghum across 7 Nigerian states. In this context, I'm also pleased to highlight a new partnership between the EU and Nigeria's National Space Research and Development Agency on innovative agriculture. This project will generate critical data and information to aid and attract investment in climate-smart agricultural practices, including irrigation, water resource management.
Invitation for this event, and I call the FAO and the FAO chief in Nigeria honored me with a visit, and I called my brother, the Minister of Agriculture, as well as the Minister of Water Resources, and requested that maybe our teams should meet, because this is one big opportunity, because it's taking place at a time when, pursuant to Mr. President directive and your own initiatives and leadership, we are interrogating both the absorptive capacity and drawing attention to the investment that is required in both Nigeria's agriculture and irrigation space. And it's the investment requirement of both our agriculture and irrigation is substantial. And when one adds, to borrow from the Gambian Forum Agric Minister, that most of the agriculture in West Africa is similar, or in Sahelian, meaning it can absorb more capital. Your Excellency, the Vice President, as you have advocated, as you have presented, there is no country in the world that has a greater absorptive capacity for agriculture and irrigation currently than Nigeria, in all modesty. And this is easy to understand, because most of our agriculture still is rain-fed agriculture because of limitations of irrigation. And with irrigation, a second crop or even a third crop is possible, so it's sensible and economic. Our fishing communities are also still reliant on freshwater bodies that cannot hold water, cannot hold significant amount of fishes. So modernization and mobilizing and getting them to move to aquaculture requires a lot of investment. The third element, animal husbandry, requires more resources, in the sense that rather than being the engine of economic opportunity, which you have recognized, this government have recognized by creating the livestock ministry, it remains underinvested and therefore a driver of conflict rather than even the driver of economic opportunity that it ought to be. Especially when one contextualizes it within the broader Sahelian challenge. The biggest challenge in Sahel is underinvestment, historic and contemporary. Therefore, a forum like this that draws attention to this potential, supported by the FAO and the excellent communication skill of His Excellency, our Vice President, to say it better than I, that we need all resources of the world sensibly to come to the Sahel, West Africa, and in fact, countries whose absorptive capacity both
farmer service providers, not to even mention innovators like the Samson Ogbole Soilless Labs and the Femi Adekoya Flying Farmers, who show that agriculture in Nigeria is not only traditional but also high-tech and future-oriented. Third, agroecological diversity. From the humid south to the Sahel north, our land supports year-round crops, livestock and aquaculture, enabling specialization and climate-smart agriculture. Fourth, our markets. Nigeria itself offers a domestic market of more than 230 million people, while ECOWAS and the African Continental Free Trade Area provide gateway to over 1 billion across Africa. Well, the slide is here. So can we take us to slide number 4, which deals with the key regional, like I said, the players of the potentials that Nigeria faces. Fifth, our macroeconomic and infrastructure foundations. Nigeria maintains a resilient banking sector with increasing agricultural lending, major infrastructure investments from the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway to the Sokoto-Badagry corridor are improving connectivity. Ports, railways, and dry ports are being modernized, while new special agro-industrial processing zones, the SAPZ, are reducing transaction costs and building efficiency. Policy and institutional support. The Nigerian Agricultural Technology and Innovation Policy, NATIP, the National Development Plan, the Dairy Policy, the Fisheries Act, and the Digital Agricultural Strategy all converge to drive a productive private sector-led agriculture. Finally, reforms, simplified business processes, PPPs, and new tax incentives under the Economic Development Incentive Framework provide concrete rewards for investors. These combined strengths, our people, our private sector, our ecological diversity, our markets, our infrastructure, and our policy support make Nigeria not just a national priority, but a regional partner in building food security and resilience. We move to slide number 5. The agricultural sector, the high potential and challenges. Agriculture contributes about 25% of GDP and employs nearly half of Nigeria's labor force. Yet, it remains under-optimized. This gap represents one of our greatest opportunities to transform investment, for transformative investment. Nigeria has close to 70 million hectares of agricultural land, of which 34 million hectares are arable. Yet only 20% is currently cultivated. That leaves vast room for expansion, both in subsistence farming and in large-scale commercial agriculture. Our water resources tell a similar story. With river basins and aquifers across the country, we can irrigate more than 3 million hectares, but less than 10% of that potential is utilized today. Strategic investment in irrigation could triple yields, reduce dependency on seasonal rains, and build climate resilience. Then there is our agroecological diversity. Nigeria's varied climatic zones support cereals, roots, fruits, vegetables, livestock, and aquaculture. This diversity enables regional specialization and year-round production. The demand side is equally compelling, with a population already above 230 million people and expected, according to the World Bank, to grow to 400 million by the year 2050. For a little bit of emphasis, I would like to just mention that year 2050 is only 25 years from today. If you can recall,
nothing unifies humanity as much as hunger. It is equaliser that reveals our vulnerabilities and the shared fragility of our existence. Hunger strips away our differences and confronts us with the reality that food is not merely a matter of survival, it is a matter of global security. Every threat to food availability is an invitation to stand together, to compare notes and to find collective means of scaling up production to meet the demands of our growing populations. This forum is a proof of that promise, and I'm honored to join you today on this road to abundance. Our pride as a nation is not defined solely by the size of our economy, nor is it merely about the vastness of our population. Our true privilege lies in the enormity of our arable land and the industriousness of our useful population, eager and capable of cultivating this land and sustaining viable enterprises around agriculture. They are the heartbeat of our green revolution, the custodians of our future prosperity and the builders of a Nigeria that must feed itself and feed the world. The vehicle to this future is the quality of policies we have chosen to prioritize. At the top of these interventions stands our National Development Plan 2021 to 2025, which has set forth ambitious but achievable targets. This blueprint seeks to lift 35 million Nigerians out of poverty, to create 21 million full-time jobs in rural and agrarian communities, and to secure national food and nutrition sufficiency through deliberate and strategic investments in agriculture. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our national investment portfolio is guided by the priorities we share under the FAO's Hand-in-Hand initiative. We asserted this commitment in 2023 and again in 2024 during the World Food Forum in Rome. This aspiration is our flagship, evidence-based program designed to accelerate agricultural transformation, eradicate poverty, and eliminate hunger and malnutrition. We cannot claim success unless our national priorities are primarily aligned with the global sustainable development goals. Our investment strategy rests on three solid pillars. First, every investment case is aligned with our national priorities of job creation, poverty reduction, and absolute food security. Second, we have re-engineered the enabling environment to attract and sustain capital by reforming policies and regulations, improving the ease of doing business through single-window platforms for land registration, strengthening our investment promotion agencies, and deepening public-private partnerships to deliver critical infrastructure. Third, and most crucially, we have built a portfolio of bankable investment cases that are rooted in practical reality. These span stable crops such as cassava, rice, and maize. Cassava, one of my brothers, Hakim Shagaya, your brother Kabir, is very active in the cassava ecosystem. They have the largest cassava farm in the world in Ekiti State. The value proposition Nigeria offers for agricultural investment is not an exercise in theory. It is an open invitation backed by evidence. Our agroecological diversity, emphasized by the Minister of Agriculture, stretches from the humid forests of the south to the savannas and the Sahel of the north, enabling year-round cultivation of a wide array of crops and livestock. Our land is so rich that if money can be grown, there are certain parts of this country that you can grow money. A case in point is Kebbi State, where the Minister of Budget and Planning hails from. Is crisscrossed by rivers, by very fertile soil. I was in Yauri, the hometown of the Minister of State Humanitarian, Dr. Sununu. The whole town is encircled by a body of water. You don't need a hook to catch a fish in Yauri. If you have the strength to dip your hands into the river, you can catch it. Our natural resources are a gift for our march towards a green revolution. We have river basins and aquifers capable of irrigating over 3 million hectares, yet we currently utilize less than 10%. Strategic investments in irrigation alone could triple yields, free us from seasonal dependency, and fortify our resilience against climate shocks. Equally compelling is the market that Nigeria represents. With a population of over 230 million and growing, we are one of the largest domestic markets in the world. Urbanization fuels a rising demand for processed and nutritious foods. And under the African Continental Free Trade Area, we are positioned to be both a regional hub and a global supplier of high-demand commodities. Beyond our land and our markets lies the promise of our digital revolution. Of the 10 unicorns in Africa, 8 are in Nigeria, from Jumia to Andela to Moneypoint to Plutaweb, to name but a few. Nigeria is a hub of digital revolution in the African continent. The renewed hope agenda, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is committed to converting these trends into tangible outcomes. It is a whole-of-government approach that demands urgent action. We must facilitate access to land and resources for serious investors. We must drive mechanization to reduce drudgery and enhance productivity. We must strengthen the agricultural credit system to ensure capital flows where it is needed most. We must prioritize value addition to create jobs and wealth within our borders. We must build the infrastructure that link farm gates to markets, from rural roads to modern storage and distribution systems. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this forum is therefore more than a gathering. It is a marketplace of ideas and opportunities, a bridge between our national ambitions and your strategic investment goals. Nigeria is indeed open for business, and we are ready to partner with you. I hope that when you leave this forum, you do so with signed commitments, with concrete partnerships, and with a renewed spirit of collaboration. Let us work hand in hand to build a Nigeria and a sub-region where no one goes to bed hungry, where rural communities are hubs of wealth creation, and where agriculture is the true foundation of our prosperity. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless Africa.
Also, how do you tell the difference? Of course they are. Get first talk. Nice.
Can I please invite the representative of Nigeria Governors Forum, Professor Abba. Please, some members here will have to take their seats.